family was on vacation in Maine. Beautiful house, deep in the trees. My parents went to dinner. My little brother went with them. I stayed behind alone. A few hours later, I heard a crash at the end of the hallway. Then I saw it. A backpack on the floor that wasn't mine. Someone was already inside my bedroom. This story is from when I was a senior in high school. I need to be upfront with you. I was a punk back then. Not in a dangerous way. Just in that specific teenage way where you're too cool for everything your family wants to do, and you treat every vacation like a personal inconvenience. I know. I cringe at myself reading this back now. My family decided that year to take a trip to Maine. Beautiful state. As an adult, I'd love to go back. As an 18-year-old, I acted like they had sentenced me to something. The house they rented was something else, though. Even I had to admit that. Massive, white with green shutters, sitting deep in the trees like something out of a Stephen King novel. My dad looked at it pulling in and said out loud, "This is how most horror movies start, isn't it?" Said that in front of my 10-year-old brother Jake. Looking back, not wrong. Inside the house was like a maze. Long hallways that intersected in ways that didn't quite make architectural sense. And the weirdest detail of all, the house connected to a small adjoining house through one of those hallways. The owner of the property lived there. His name was Hugh. Hugh was something. Tall, old sweat-stained bucket hat, very yellow teeth. Not scary exactly, more unsettling in a specific way. Loud, goofy, eccentric. He welcomed my family like we were long-lost relatives and kept telling us how kind folks in Maine were. He said we wouldn't see or hear from him the whole week. The connecting door between his house and ours was right next to my bedroom door. That detail would matter later. The first morning, my parents announced a big family hike. I declined. I had just started dating a girl named Danny, and I knew the trail wouldn't have cell service. That was my actual reason for skipping a family vacation activity, a text message. After a little back and forth, they let me stay. I remember watching their car pull out of the driveway, feeling genuinely satisfied with myself. The absolute state of me. I texted Danny and started telling her about the house. When I described the connecting door to Hugh's side, she didn't believe me. I told her I was going to prove it. I walked to the end of the hallway where Hugh's door was. I assumed it would be locked. I was already planning what I was going to text Danny when it didn't open. The handle turned. I stood there for a second, holding the open door, feeling a strange mix of surprise and something I should have recognized as a bad idea taking shape. I went in on FaceTime with Danny. Just a normal little room. TV, couch, nothing remarkable. Then I heard a door shut somewhere deeper in the house, and I panicked and ran back to our side. I was back on the couch about 3 minutes before Hugh knocked. He was still cheerful, still goofy. He asked why I had been recording videos of his house. I tried lying, said I got lost. He didn't buy it. He told me he had cameras inside his house that alerted him when a door opened. He had me on video walking around with my phone lighting up everything. I felt genuinely stupid, the kind of stupid that has no dignified exit. I told him the truth. He laughed it off, made some comment about how nobody in Maine locks their doors. I laughed awkwardly, told him I had to go, and the second he left, I locked that door and dragged a heavy wooden chair across the floor and propped it against the handle. Danny told me she didn't trust Hugh and I needed to be careful. I told her I had it handled. When my family got back, I told them about Hugh. They were angrier that I had gone into his house than anything else. They were right, but I yelled at them anyway. Not long after they were back, they announced dinner out. I said I wasn't going. They were still annoyed about the Hugh thing, so they didn't fight me on it. Told me they'd bring food back. I watched their headlights disappear down the tree-lined driveway and settled back onto the couch with my phone. The sun went down, and the darkness outside the windows was complete. Not city dark, not suburban dark, the kind of dark that has no gradient. I had been sitting there a couple of hours texting Danny when I heard it. A loud crash. I was on my feet instantly. The kind of reaction you don't decide to have. Your body just does it. It came from the end of the hall, where Hugh's door was, where the chair was. I started putting it together in my head, and the only conclusion that made sense was that the wooden chair had been knocked over from the other side. Hugh was trying to get in. I crept down the hallway, wanting to catch him in the act. Too dark to see anything. I reached the light switch and flipped it. The chair was on the ground. and on the floor next to it, a backpack. A backpack I had never seen before. I stood there staring at it and felt my brain try to reject what I was looking at. My things were in my room. Hugh's things were on his side. This backpack belonged to nobody who should have been in this house. I did not stand there long. I turned and ran to the screened front porch, locked the interior door behind me, checked the screen door latch, and got as low as I could under the patio table. I was in the fetal position under a table on a porch, trying to make myself invisible, and realized simultaneously that I had left my phone on the couch inside. I heard footsteps inside the house. Not running, not panicked, just slow, deliberate walking. The sound of someone who doesn't know they need to be in a hurry yet. I don't know exactly how long I stayed under that table, long enough that my knees were shaking when I finally saw headlights coming down the driveway. My dad's van. I got up and ran at them, waving my arms, telling them to stay in the car. I was barely forming words. My parents looked at each other the way parents look at each other when they can't tell if their kid is in danger or has lost their mind. That's when Hugh appeared. I almost collapsed when I saw him, because for a few seconds, I genuinely couldn't tell if he was the threat or something else entirely. Hugh asked to speak to my dad privately. My dad went. I tried to pull him back. He dismissed me. I watched Hugh's face while he was talking to my father, and what I saw was not the goofy, cheerful man from earlier. He looked pale. He looked like someone who had seen something they couldn't unsee. My dad came back, told me to get in the van, said we needed to go somewhere quickly. He drove to a grocery store parking lot a mile down the road. My little brother was looking at all of us from the back seat, not understanding any of it. My dad was gripping the wheel tighter than he needed to. Then he told us everything. Hugh had heard the crash too. His camera alert fired at the same moment. He assumed at first it was me pulling another prank. He checked the cameras. He saw the knocked over chair. He saw the backpack. He was about to turn off the feed when a tall, bald man walked out of my bedroom. A man Hugh had never seen before. The man picked up the backpack and walked back into my room. I sat in the back of my dad's van in that parking lot, trying to understand that a stranger had been inside my bedroom while I was home alone. That I had been on that porch under that table while he was still inside the house walking around. The only thing between me and him had been a screened porch door and a prayer. Hugh had run outside when he saw I was on the porch. He hid in the front yard watching the house, not wanting to go through the connecting door and risk alerting the man and putting me in danger. He was in the yard the whole time. The police were called. They chased the man into the woods. They never caught him. A few months later, my dad reached out to Hugh and asked if they ever identified him. They hadn't. Even with the cameras, even with the chase. They never figured out how he got in. They never knew what he wanted. He could have just been looking for shelter. That's what I told myself so I could sleep. I'm not sure I ever completely believed it.